I'm using a 1-inch wide brush there, and I'm just loading it up with water, and I'm going to put just clear water down. Okay. Made myself a rectangle of clear water. I'm going to dip into this black. This is the black in our prying sets, and I'm just going to work into this wet. Wet and wet. I'm going to move it around. See how I'm twisting my brush, moving it around. Going getting more water in the brush so I can thin it out some more. Going back, dig in, recharge, get some more black on the end of the brush. While this is still wet, I'm going to work it right in here, like that. I can move it around. I just dip the brush back into the water to thin the paint down. I'm twisting the brush. I'm pulling it. I'm going back and getting a little more water so I can thin this black out down here some more. See how light the value is getting. The more water I put in, the lighter it gets, and that's what I want. So I have just pure black up here. It's still wet, so I can go back into this wet passage.
It's drying off the brush.
And by drying off the brush, I'm taking out all the water or most of the water in the brush. So I make the brush now becomes a sponge that lifts. It lifts the paint off, giving it another value. See if I make a thinner line with the edge of the brush. I can, just by lifting that paint out, I've changed the values immediately. Now this is still wet, so I've made my brush a sponge by pouring out all the water in it. I mean, it's going to be damp, but it doesn't have a lot of water in it. I can come back while this is still wet, and I can lift out another value, like that, just by lifting the paint off. I'm using the backs of my fingers so I don't get any oil from the front of my hand on the paper. I'm using the backs of my fingers just to test the wetness of the surface, and it's still pretty wet. So that's okay. As long as it's wet, I can work back into it. Picking up some more pure black. Putting a strip of just pulling a brush load of it across, going back, picking up some water, coming back here and thinning that. Thinning, thinning.
I'm at 5 minutes.
Okay. Thinning the value down so we have basically my darkest dark is up in here, this middle band where the pigment has settled in here.
Granulating. Is it granulating?
Yeah, you could call it granulating, yes. But it's still wet, so I can come back and put clear water on my brush, pull the water out of the brush, and come back inside here and lift off other values. I go back in, just clean the brush, and use it as an eraser just to pick up. Think of it as an eraser where you're erasing up the paint to make a different value. Putting down some clear water over this. This area is dried quite a bit. So
Can I stop now?